So if you're a fan of true crime, classic LA history, or blockbuster films, then our next stop is a must-see. It's home to some of the most captivating stories, rare artifacts, and iconic moments in LAPD history. From uniforms through the decades to infamous cases like the Onion Field and Patty Hearst, this museum offers a behind-the-scenes look at the stories that have helped shape Los Angeles. California Live's Amber Pfister is in Highland Park at the Los Angeles Police Museum, where all that history is on display. Amber, actually her movies and TV shows have filmed there, right?
Yep, that's exactly right, Jess. I mean, if you loved Gangster Squad, LA Confidential, and even Parks and Rec, that's probably why it looks familiar. But there is so much history here, and I love this museum. And here to tell me all about it is my friend Erica. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. So let's talk a little bit about just the museum itself and how this came about.
Well, this was the brainchild of our founder, Richard Koch. He's a retired sergeant of LAPD.
Okay.
He felt it was time for the public to truly understand the life and the behind the scenes of LAPD.
Yeah.
So this is all his vision, and that established in 2001. We actually started the LA Police Historical Site in 1989.
Okay.
Became a full-fledged museum in 2001.
Amazing, and there's a lot to see here. I mean, it's 2 floors. You could spend hours here, really, especially if you are a history buff, especially with LA. You're gonna love this because there's artifacts all around, and it really explains like just the progression, right? So, for example, the room that we're in right now, of course, let's talk about the progression of just the uniforms itself. You have everything here.
This is way back from the formation of the department. We have an original badge, one of the very first badges ever worn by our police officers back in 1869. You can see the true progression of every uniform here.
Including, of course, we have give
Alice
props.
Wells.
That's
Alice
right.
Wells, correct. That's her uniform. It's a remake of her uniform and what the women of the 1870s were actually wearing. Those big wool skirts.
Yes, so it looks very heavy and very hot.
Very matronly, and you can see all the way up. Interesting fact is 1982 was the last time women started wearing their skirts. They stopped wearing skirts in that time.
Interesting, and that's when pants came about. See, this is what you're going to learn when you come here. I love that you guys have truly like just showing the evolvement. And of course, you have a lot of donations. So for example, this was donated. So there's a lot of pieces here, like this motorcycle that you get to see. Everything is tangible. You're going to learn a lot.
Yes, we're very hands-on.
Yes, you're very hands-on. Now listen, I learned a lot this morning just chatting with you. There are 3 stories in particular that I want to get to because it changed policy throughout the years. So tell me about this room.
So this is the SLA room, and you know that Patty Hearst's story is just, it's ingrained in history, right? So when you come down here, you get a real in-depth look at the SLA and how Patty Hearst was involved in her kidnapping and how she was actually converted into their cause. But more importantly for us, and its tie into LAPD history, is that this was the formation of our SWAT team.
Amazing. So this is how SWAT started. And on top of that, states started to follow you. They were inspired by what you guys were doing, and that changed policy, not just for LA, but for a lot of police.
Correct. So they were deployed out, a very unique elite unit, and Daryl Gates deployed them out, and sure enough, you have SWAT.
I love that you guys also do a timeline, and I think that's what really helps fill out the story. This is another one, the Onion Field. This also changed policy.
Right. Yeah. This is a really compelling exhibit, one of my favorites. It actually really tells the tragic story of how those officers were kidnapped and one of them executed out in an onion field. They stopped gun smugglers off of the 101, and we pass that freeway exit all the time, right?
Yeah,
and it's really amazing how we see that bit of history that shaped LAPD, and this really changed how traffic stops are approached, so how our officers approach traffic stops.
You know what, Steve, this is, I know there's movies and there's TV shows, but when you get to actually be here and you get to see some of the true artifacts, like it really comes to life.
Right.
And then, of course, Erica, last but not least, this is one I know you said this is kind of the big draw as well.
Yes, so this is our most popular exhibit, the North Hollywood Shootout. As you know, this is where the gun power was trying to take over the Bank of America back in 1997. It was a notorious day, and these two decided that they were going to shoot out because their plans foiled. And so again, this changed policy on patrol defense, so what officers carry on them. So yeah, it's really a fascinating tale, the way that strategy was taken out that whole day, and just how we defeated firepower. Willpower defeated firepower.
Yeah, and you know what? I love that LAPD inspired other states to change their policy because we are such a big city.
Correct.
So people don't realize, when we have to encounter something, it changes policy not just for us, but pretty much for the whole country.
Right, it really does. As we discussed earlier, the population of LA is massive, right? And so we have the ever-evolving needs of how we approach public safety.
Erica, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
This is fascinating. If you are a history buff, this is a place that you want to check out. Jess, I would encourage you to come here. There is a lot to see, and truly, it's absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, it really is. Thank you so much, Amber. All right.